Hey everybody, this is Javi, and you are listening to the Inner Child Collective podcast, where you and your inner child heal for the better. Welcome. I hope you had an awesome weekend. I know I did. Some friends of mine and I saw The Rise of Skywalker last week, and it was amazing. It really was. Like, I am becoming a huge fan of Star Wars. Been watching it with a particular friend of mine, my friend Caredwin, for about a year or so. Like, we watched it all in order, and we just finished it off with The Rise of Skywalker. We're also watching The Mandalorian too, right? And I just love Star Wars because the spiritual aspect is just so in depth, and there's a lot to learn too. So yeah, like I just want to tell you that because that was me tapping into my inner child who was very much a nerd. Um, and it was awesome. It really was. So I am, speaking of nerds, I'm Team Storm Pilot, aka Poe Dameron and Finn. I shipped them very hard, and like day one, like I shipped them, right. So I just love their chemistry, and it was very apparent, you know, during the Rise of Skywalker, very apparent. And I just love Oscar Isaac and John Boyega. They were really cute, but that's neither here nor there. Um, the film was gorgeous overall. Everything from the cinematography to the story itself. So I highly recommend it for those who are Star Wars fans. Um, and I highly recommend um, like anything pertaining to Star Wars. I recommend it, right? So again, I want to move on. Thank you so much to the folks who are listening to the podcast. I really appreciate the love and support. It's only going to go up from here. And I just really appreciate people like um, just listening and hopefully learning. You know what I mean? And speaking of which, I just want to let y'all know straight up and flat out. I realized after the third episode how in depth, the inner child reading was the one that I've created, the format rather. So I did change the format so it will be very direct and on point. So from here on out, I'm doing the course to archetype. Also the message from the inner child to focus on what the inner child is telling us. Um, and then words of encouragement. You know what I mean? That's what I was doing anyway. Um, but it just went much longer than necessary. And so that was more of a character development that I was trying to do. And I recognize that in retrospect. So the format, as far as the readings, how messages will be given, have definitely changed. So I just want to tell you that. And the reason why is because on this episode, which is very special, I am going to be giving an inner child energy message for the year 2020. 2020 is coming up. And I just gotten so many messages and so many images. So I'm going to be offering an energy message, inner child energy message for the collective. And like I said, I changed the format a little so we can get to the point. And again, I'll be using the archetype cards to determine what archetype represents the listener. Modern spell, the spellcaster's tarot deck to tell the listener's story, or at least give insight to what to focus on this year. And the mythical or the mystical. I always say this: the mystical shaman oracle deck to give words of encouragement at the end. And whatever card I pull, I'll put them in the descriptions, so listeners can know what cards I used and when. And so I'm really excited. I've got so much for the year 2020, as far as the energy of it and what is expected of the inner child and things of that nature. So I'll definitely give a little bit of an intuitive forecast, but I'll definitely be giving you a message as well. So let's get started. Now remember, this is a general reading. Okay, this is a general message, and I put out the intention that the message will be for those who resonate with it, right? So, and I'll be shuffling cards too, just to give you a heads up. Um, if you hear like this or any sort of like that, it's me shuffling the cards for you. So, um, in case you have any sort of, auditory sensory issues or anything like that, that's what I'm doing, right? Um, so the intuitive message that I would like to give the audience is that, like, when I tapped into the year 2020 and asked, to basically open me up to the energies of, the inner child collective, like for the entire collective that's supposed to be resonating with this, I saw freedom. I definitely saw a lot of birds. I saw a lot of owls and doves. So basically, not only what that tells me is that not only are a lot of us, in the year 2020, or we're going to be gaining a lot of wisdom, but we're also going to be getting a lot of peace. And I also saw financial prosperity. So a lot of us are also going to be paid, and or getting some sort of financial compensation for whatever business or whatever project we put out is going to be seen, especially throughout the year. I definitely saw in January this in which is like, you know, like very much, you know, it's just very apparent that people are just ready. People are ready, okay, and I saw a rainbow coming out of the month of January. So basically, what I'm getting is that people are coming into this with a sense of hope. Okay, the sense of hope. Um, and so it's just going to like we're just going to learn and begin to heal from here. And I'm feeling too that 2019 was the hardest year for a lot of people because it dealt with us seeing our shadow selves, embracing our shadow selves, basically like picking apart a lot of the self-sabotaging bullshit that we did to ourselves. And so now that we got all that out of the way for the most part, I'm getting that 2020 is going to be a year where during which people are going to be healing. It is not going to be as hard. It's not going to be as traumatic. It's not going to be as daunting. It's not going to be as scary because we got through all that stuff already. For those who have not been ready to see and look at their shadows, you're being asked to do that this year. The reason being is because this is a year of prosperity. This is the year of manifestation. In order for you to get all of that, and be at peace, and to get those blessings that you are looking for. You are to let go of what no longer serves you. You are to let go of the baggage. You are to not drag. Right now as I'm speaking, I'm seeing people dragging a black garbage bag into 2020, and a lot of people who did not let go of their stuff, just simply because, like, to me, the color black represents depression or just overall shadow, like a shadow, right? And so a lot of people are still dragging a lot of that stuff with them, but it's becoming heavier and heavier and heavier. Okay. Like, you're literally unable to like pick it up and hoist it over your shoulder. This is how deep a lot of those shadows are. So you're in 2020, as you're entering 2020, you are literally being, told to, by spirit, by your inner child, to let a lot of that stuff go, because then you'll be able to have peace. You'll be able to have prosperity, and you'll be able to heal and see your inner child for what it is, someone who protected you, and you are to protect them, and to allow them to heal as much as you do. Okay, I'm just getting like at least um maybe July, um I want to say June, July, around the summertime. This is where a lot of the playful energy is going to be. This is also where a lot of people are going to start discovering love, okay? Self-love and prosperity for themselves. Um, if you see a lot of dinging, it's because I'm getting some responses to something I put on Facebook in regards to inner child reading. So, by all means, that's what that's about. If you hear any sort of dinging in the background, but basically, that's what I'm getting from an intuitive perspective. Okay, and I haven't even tapped into an inner child energy reading yet. So there's going to be a lot of us, who are going to be financially, energetically, emotionally, psychologically, and even sexually paid. We're going to be getting our compensation for all the work that we have done for the year 2020. Okay. We're in, like, I want to say towards maybe like August, a lot of us are going to be seeing reciprocity. A lot of us are going to be seeing some sort of, we're going to be seeing a lot in regards to what we've worked for. Okay. So let's see what Spirit has in store for us in regards to the inner child reading. All right, or for the forecast rather. Yeah, I'm just seeing a lot of, and my heart is just like swelling up, with love and just relief. A lot of us are like just relief, right? So, dear higher spirit, what archetype represents the inner child, okay, for the collective? The collective's inner child. What archetype represents the collective's inner child for the year 2020? Oh my God. Yes. Yes. Okay, so we got the Samaritan, okay? And the Samaritan card, as far as the archetype, is the light attribute says, because there's the light attribute and the shadow attribute. The light attribute says, refines your capacity to help those you prefer to ignore. And the shadow attribute is exciting appreciation and recognition for the help you offer. So basically, this is not about when the Samaritan card, what the energy that I'm getting from this card as far as, the archetype and how it connects to, the collective, or represents the collective anyway, is that you're giving a lot of that energy to yourself. Okay. We're giving a lot of those who resonate with this message. We're giving back to ourselves. We're giving back to the inner child, the inner child that we ignored all this time. Basically, what we're doing is we're now doing all that work in 2019, all that stuff that we were been doing as far as the shadow work, the energy work, getting readings, receiving readings and stuff like that. Like all that stuff that, and, doing a lot of meditation and tapping into like the energy of healing. Okay, that is coming back to us, and that actually involved looking at our past, looking at what we have gone through, as a collective, and how we handle life individually. Okay, that's what that card is telling me telling me. The fact that we are being our own Samaritan, we are being our own, savior, we are being our own, we're basically being our own hero, right? That's what a Samaritan is. A Samaritan is not, is a person who gives and is somewhat of a hero to others. Now we're being a hero to ourselves. So the light attribute of that is that we are seeing, we're going to be seeing a lot in 2020, just giving to ourselves and reaping what we are sowing. Okay, we reap what we sow, and now people are going to see our energy. People are going to see our prosperity. People are going to see what we've been giving ourselves all this time. Okay, that's why 2019 was so important, because it gave us the opportunity to see that we're our own worst enemy, but we can also be our own best friend too. And our inner child is paying for all of that. You know what I mean? No, a lot of us are going to be seeing our inner child. That's why a lot of us, even though I'm getting like a fear, but a lot of us, even though we're nervous, I'm getting an anxiety like, oh shit, what's going to happen next? Now that I did all this work, what's going to happen now? Right. So now this is a time to not only to continue to heal, but to also see how far your healing has come for you, right? And that means that were able to give that type of energy back to yourself and stop, looking at other people or trying to save other people as a mere distraction. Now, as far as the shadow attributes, okay, um, you're basically don't automatically assume, right, that because you did all this work that um to heal your own inner child, that people are going to understand what you're doing or where you're coming from, or if you hurt someone in the past, they're suddenly going to forgive you. That's not going to work. This is what in 2020 we are pretty much given the opportunity to basically take responsibility for our stuff, to take responsibility, and hold ourselves accountable, and that means knowing that you're not going to be able to make amends to everybody. You're not going to be able to make amends to them personally. And if anything, if you cause someone harm, it's not the best way to do that anyhow. Okay. So that's what we got for the Samaritan. I just feel like in the year 2020, that's when I want to say it, like I literally want to say as the months go on towards August, a lot of you are going to realize that the Samaritan, you were the Samaritan and you were giving to your inner child, and you're definitely going to see the fruits of your labor at around August. Yeah, like mid to late August, I'm getting. Okay, maybe September. You're going to see a lot of the growth for yourself. Like you're really going to be looking in the mirror and saying like, damn, I really did that. You know what I mean? Like you're going to be seeing yourself in a whole new light. Okay, so let's see what the tarot cards say about all this, right? Let's see what's going to happen here. So, whew, what messages? Ooh, a lot of you are going to be falling in love too. A lot of you are going to be falling in love with the self, and you're actually in that new energy is going to end up attracting someone else too. I'm getting around June or July, somewhere around that area where it's hot and everyone is out. And and I noticed that at least for me anyway, a lot of the inner child energy, the playful energy, especially if you are a Gemini or been born in the summer, or in the spring rather, um, summer or spring, or whether there was like some sort of hot weather, that's where your playful energy is at its peak. So basically, you're not going to be taking yourself a little too seriously at all, and that energy is going to be felt, and that energy is going to actually attract someone. Okay, attract someone that you've been looking at for quite some time. Okay, the one of the reasons why the two of you are a few of you, I'm getting the three of you in some way, shape, or form. If you're in a poly relationship, one of the reasons why a lot of y'all did not see each other is because the energies were not correct. The energies were not aligned, and a lot of people were in pain, okay, and suffering. So that's one of the reasons that y'all did not see each other's energy or feel each other's energy. But what I'm getting is that around June or July, especially around that time, when the summer energy, playful energy, Cancer energy is at its peak, you're going to be attracting a lot of people, especially the person that you or a couple of people that you have been looking at. So let's see here. So, what messages do you have for the inner child, the collective's inner child? What message do you have for the collective's inner child spirit? I definitely want to thank my ancestors for tapping me into this. I'm also getting to like February is not going to be that bad. There's going to be some blessings in February too. I'm just getting that. Oh, there's going to be some blessings in February. Money, um, um, love, especially money. I'm getting like February is the time for people getting paid. Um, so whatever work you did in regards to um, poverty consciousness or any sort of inner child work around poverty, that is going to be erased, and that is a contract, a spiritual contract that has been fulfilled. A lot of you have also I'm getting that a lot of you, I don't, whether it be like a former life or a past life, I'm not 100% certain. Is it past life? Yeah, like this is generational as far as the poverty. So a lot of the generational work that you have done around poverty is pretty much fulfilled. That contract is fulfilled, and you also did a lot of cord cutting energy around around poverty. So basically, whatever contract you had in the former life, or any regarding money or some sort of tie around, you know, soul tie around like a vow of poverty. Well, yes, that's what it is, like a vow of poverty. You pretty much sever that. You did the work necessary. I see a lot of y'all doing candle work. Um, a lot of you doing a lot of ritual work, especially if you are practicing any sort of hoodoo or voodoo or anything like that. Or any sort of candle work. Rather, I'm getting that all that stuff is now paying off and is going to pay off in February. So a lot of manifestation is going to be happening around that. So what I got here was the King of Wands, right? And the King of Wands is basically a one who is about leadership and action, and his right side up. So basically, I'm just getting that your inner child is saying like, keep doing what you are doing, keep being the leader that you are being. Okay, keep manifesting and keep moving, keep having a plan, because a lot of you planned in 2019, like you pretty much said that despite all that's happening, you're going to have this plan set in place. And so whatever you did to get to this point, or whatever manifestation rituals you've done, any sort of inner child rituals that you have done, you basically started doing that. Okay. In 2019, some people did it like throughout the year, but I'm also getting around February or March. Y'all started doing this stuff. Y'all started doing it, and it's sort of like pretty much letting go. Like probably around spring too. There's a lot of cleaning out of houses. There's a lot of breaking any sort of bad energy around um, any sort of like that bad energy, that old energy. You started like working on and getting out of the house. I'm getting that some of y'all even broke up with someone at around February or March of last year, and it's starting to pay off. Now you're like, now you're seeing like, I'm just getting with the King of Wands is like, y'all are moving forward. Now you're starting to see. Now you're like, now you're seeing your plans like put in place. Now that you've done the work necessary. In 2019, you're now saying like, okay, now 2020 is here. What can I do to manifest something better? What can I do to replace what I just gotten rid of? Okay. So I'm just getting that, like, continue to do that. I also got the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is about you letting go. You, the Samaritan, you, the person who is resonating with this message, this inner child energy message. Your inner child is basically saying like, it's time to let go. It's time to let go of the paranoia. It's time to let go, and they're very proud of you. Okay, they're very proud of the fact that you are now putting things into place, and you like let go of the paranoia. You let go of the insecurities. You let go of any sort of notion that somehow the other shoe was going to drop. Okay, you just went with you went with what spirit was telling you, what your inner child was telling you, despite your fear. Okay, I'm just getting like, there's a lot of y'all, as children, y'all dealt with a lot of fear of losing things, whether it be a person, place, or situation, where there was like this whole fear of change. And there was like, and as a result of that, you're trying to hold on to stuff. Okay. No more of that. No more of that. In 2020, you're being told not to hold on to anything anymore. In fact, detachment is the way to go. Attachment is the way to do things. Um, Detachment, and I'm not saying there's a difference between being stoic and there's a difference between being stoic and detached. And that's when you're detached, that means like, look, change is going to happen and something better is going to happen. Whatever was supposed to leave my life, or whomever was supposed to leave my life, they left it for a reason. Okay, so I'm just getting that that you're now in the year 2020. You are to continue to have that mentality and to let go of anything um, that no longer serves you, and to just let it go without fear. Let it go without fear. Okay. Let's see what else the inner child has. What other messages do you have? Oh wow. We got the Nine of Cups here. Let's see what else we have. Let's see what else we have. Let's see what else. All right. Oh wow, you got the Judgment card here too, upside down. So the Nine of Cups is about basically allowing yourself to let go of things that no longer serve you. Allow your feelings to come up. Allow everything to come up. And that's what I'm saying. Like, this has okay. Thank you, Spirit. This has everything to do with your feelings. I'm getting the Nine of Cups. It has everything to do with letting go of your feelings and to not take things personal. Not taking things personal. In the year 2020, you're done all that growth and all that and all that prosperity work. And what I'm getting is that the reason why you were doing all that work is to not take things so personal. Because what I'm getting is that a lot of y'all came from abusive homes where no matter, or the type of home was abusive, where no matter what you did, it was something was always your fault. You were always the one to blame. I'm getting that you were a younger sibling dealing with this. Okay? You were a younger sibling dealing with this type of stuff. Everything was your fault. Okay? Everything was your fault. There was no, and that's what you've been told. And so basically, the Nine of Cups is saying you did all the work necessary to let go of that lie, that you were somehow at fault was for someone else's wrongdoing. Okay, so you're being pretty much being told, by your inner child, this, if you have not healed from that, to begin the healing process. I'm getting that a lot of you have, or have healed to the point where you know that you are to walk away from situations that you are being like where you're being blamed for little to no reason, right? I'm also getting the Judgment card upside down. This your inner child is basically saying to not judge yourself so harshly. Okay, don't judge just your circumstances so harshly. Don't judge your inner child so harshly. A lot of us, adults are out here saying like, "Look, I am at, my inner child is the reason why I'm doing all this stuff." If I was a different child, or I was born under different circumstances, I wouldn't be like this. And you're literally blaming your inner child for being alive. You're literally, that's a part of you. Okay, by the end of the day, you're blaming yourself for what happened. You're basically putting yourself at fault again. So, and I'm literally being told that this, like, I'm pretty much getting like, you're like, it's time for you to let that stuff go. A lot of you have not done that, and a lot of you are, or people who are resonating with this message, you're not to bring that, or at least beat yourself up. I'm definitely getting at around April or May. A lot of you will stop doing this. A lot of you will stop doing this in around April or May. because of the weather change and also the representation of spring. You're starting over, right? You're starting over. Everything is very new. Everything is very fresh, right? The trees are, becoming green again. Flowers are budding. The birds are coming back. Depending on where you are living, and so you're literally being told through the judgment card to not allow yourself to be pulled back into those old judgments of the self. And even I'm also getting to that you are not to judge yourself if you have not been or have come to like a particular point in your life. Okay, everything's about starting over. Okay, everything's about starting over. If you have not done it in 2020, in 2019, you will definitely do it in 2020. And I'm getting that people will start to feel better. Okay, people will start to feel better once spring comes about. So I'm thinking like April or May. Okay, um, where people are. I'm seeing a lot of people sitting outside. A lot of people sitting outside. Um, and allowing themselves um to feel some of y'all like to walk in wet grass and like so y'all want to feel the wet grass under your feet. In fact, grounding that way is a like at least putting your feet in grass or you're on concrete is a way to ground yourself. So whenever you feel as if you're about to blow up, or there's a part of you that's about to be blamed for something, or you feel like you're off kilter, that's another way for you to ground. So but yeah, like I'm definitely getting that you are going to be feeling yourself once the sun comes out. Okay, so what other messages we have? What other messages do you have for the? Yeah. Okay. Oh wow. So this is interesting. This is interesting because what I'm getting here is that I have a few cards upside down. So I have the Page of Swords upside down, right? And basically, this is the time for you to not beat yourself up for not knowing any better. This is the time for you to not beat yourself up for not knowing any better. Let me say that one more time. This is a time for you to not beat yourself up for not knowing any better, for not knowing the answers. Because just because you're on a spiritual journey doesn't mean that you have to have all the answers. Okay? That's just the bottom line. Like, you were doing everything you could to grow. You were doing everything you can to be a different person. And what you don't know is what you don't know. That's the energy I'm getting for the Page of Swords. A lot of people are out here who are just starting on their spiritual journey. Your inner child is basically saying, like, look, don't beat yourself up. You didn't know any better. You didn't know any better. You didn't know, how to take care of yourself. You didn't know how to say no when you were tired. You didn't know any of those things. You didn't know probably didn't know about self care, or if you did, you didn't practice it. Or, you didn't allow yourself to rest because you felt like you had to work. Capitalism is another thing, that bogged people down in 2019. So what is happening is that now you're starting to know better. Now you're starting to do better. You're now starting to say, no, I am important. Okay, I'm important. So your inner child is basically saying, treat yourself like you're important. Tell your inner child, like, look, you deserve to play. You deserve to rest. Let's take a nap. Okay? Like, there's nothing wrong with taking a nap every once in a while. There's nothing wrong with turning your phone on and saying, like, or putting it on silent and saying, like, no, not today. Like, there's a reason why, there is this page I follow called the Nap Ministry, and it talks about the importance of napping in this society, where capitalism and productivity is very much promoted, and so you're being told by the Page of Swords and by your inner child, it's time for you to play and rest. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to know all the answers. You understand? You can study. In fact, this is the time for you to do what you want to do for fun. Do what you want to do for fun. I'm getting like, y'all really are going to have fun with this. Um, in the spring. You really are, okay? Because this is a time for us. I see the color pink, and the color pink for me is about youthful energy. So y'all really going to like you're a lot of you are going to like tap into that. Okay. I'm also getting the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands upside down. That tells me that not everything is worth a response. So a lot of you are now learning for the like in 2020, a lot of you are going to be learning that not everything deserves a response. Not everything is something that that deserves action. Okay, because knights. When I think of knights, I think of knights that want to, protect, fight, act, and or rebel against the system in regards to protecting people. Knights are very they're soldiers, right? And you're a soldier of action. And so, and if someone pisses you off, you know, it's a wrap. But what I'm getting from your inner child is that not everything is worth your response. And I'm getting that you're now learning that. You learned that in 2019, but now you're like taking that into 2020. And I'm getting that throughout the entire year, you're going to be avoiding conflict, avoiding unnecessary conflicts. You know, I'm getting that a lot of you are shutting down Facebook and or social media in 2020. A lot of you are tired of the okie doke. A lot of you are tired of the bullshit. A lot of you are tired of um, the trauma porn. A lot of you are tired of like pretty much tired of social media in general. Okay, y'all tired of like Zuckerberg. I'm being honest with you. Especially with Facebook. I'm just getting like a lot of people are saying like, nope, adios. I can't do this shit no more. And so a lot of you are going to be finding other ways to contact people, communicate with people. A lot of you are I see a lot of people just going outside. I see people in 2020 just enjoying their time unplugged. Okay, a lot of you are going to be hanging out with friends a lot more. Starting January. Just because like you're getting out of the slump of winter. The holidays are over, so you can come up for air. Some of you maybe I'm getting around late January, early February, because at least you're giving yourself some time to rest after New Year's. And so that card, the Knight of Wands, is saying like, look, that's why I'm getting not everything is a fight. Not everything is something that you are to be working on just simply because it's there. Because now you're just tired. You're like part of the drama, in the trauma that you've gone through is just fighting people. You're fighting people, and you're also tired of being like the Samaritan. That's another way for you to be a Samaritan. You're giving to yourself by giving time. Okay, by giving yourself time to recoup and rest and to basically cut out drama. That's what I'm getting from this, right? And so, whew, listen, y'all got the King of Cups upside down. That pretty much tells me that y'all are not trying to be nice to nobody. A lot of you are saying no. A lot of you are saying not right now. A lot of people are saying, I need my time. A lot of people are not putting themselves in a position of naivety any longer. And because the King of Cups, when it's right side up, is basically a person who is very sweet, very kind, very gentle, want to see the world for the peaceful thing that it is, the entity that it is. And the King of Cups is basically upside down in this instance, and this is basically you saying like, I don't have to be nice to everybody. I don't have to be there for everyone. I do not have to be the person saving everyone. I um it's okay for me to look out for myself. It's okay to reserve my time, reclaim my time. It's okay for you to reserve your pearls, you know, um, in order for you to preserve your energy for things that are much more important to you. And so, people, it would not surprise me at all, especially around, um, I'm getting like around like Christmas time. Um, was that December 2020 spirit or 2019? Yeah, like in 2019, you began to cut people off. I'm getting family members, especially family members around 2019. And so in 2020, you're going to be definitely with people you care about. I want to say in December, you're going to be around people who feed your spirit. There's a lot of self love around here in the Samaritan. Definitely a lot of self love. Um, that self love energy that I'm getting. Just simply because, like, you put up with so much, you did a lot of shadow work around people pleasing. Okay, people pleasing, and just like this energy of just doing what people ask, no question asked of you, no questions asked, because you're afraid of conflict. Now you're not in 2020. I'm getting that a lot of you are not afraid of conflict whatsoever. Your inner child is healed to the point where you're like, these are not my parents, and even if they were my parents or my biological family or my ex-husband or whatnot, I don't owe them anything anymore. I don't owe anything. In fact, you're going to be telling your inner child, you know, this year in 2020, that you are not that you are not here to basically to be nice to them, or you don't have to put up with stuff anymore. You're telling your inner child, like, look, you're standing on your own 2 feet regardless of what people say. um you are you're way stronger than this. You're way stronger than the drama, and you're over it. You don't have to be a part of that anymore. So yeah, and finally you got the 5 of Swords, right side up. And basically, what I'm getting from this is that you're no longer fighting battles. You're no longer putting yourself in a position to fight, battles that are on in your own mind. Okay, a lot of you have done that in the past, and now in the year 2020, you're like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm just getting a lot of, you're not putting yourself in the position. I'm just to fight, unnecessary battles, or the unnecessary battles that are in your mind. Okay, a lot of us are like, again, a lot of us were paranoid. A lot of us had, some sort of anxiety around being around people, or feeling as if people were not here for us. Okay, because we have a lot of we had a lot of unhealed abandonment issues, people coming into our lives and trying to play us or lie to us. A lot of people that we have done things for, they try to bamboozle us in some way, shape, or form. And what I'm getting is that that energy, even though that energy is no longer there, or is not strong to the point, it's not so strong to the point where you feel as if people are trying to play you, or people are around you trying to do something. Because I noticed that, as I look at this card, um, the man who was, or the soldier who was holding the swords, he's facing wolves. He's facing wolves that are looking away from him. So basically, that tells me that a lot of the stuff it's in our own mind. A lot of the stuff, and this actually could represent our unconscious mind, and letting go of a lot of those oof letting go of a lot of those those old wounds, those old battles that have been in our heads for so long, right? So I'm just getting like 2020 is the time for us to start, um, not even start, but basically begin to heal. Let's see. Oh, wow. Two more cards here. Yeah, I got the strength card upside down. Yeah, and the Three of Pentacles. And what I'm getting from this is that, ooh, I'm just, please, like, throughout the year, gather your strength, preserve your strength. Let's see here. Like, I'm just getting like, you don't have to be like, thank you. Like, yeah, like you don't have to be strong by yourself anymore. I'm just getting leave it untamed. And I was like, what does that mean? That means in the year 2020, this is a lot. Like I'm getting for this. Like this speaks to a lot of Black women or Black people in general. Even though, um, I'm just even though like the cards are like genderless and colorless, as far as the energy goes, I'm getting this from a lot for a lot of Black people, women and gender nonconforming people, especially. We don't have to be strong for ourselves anymore. What I mean by that is that we don't have to carry the world on our shoulders. In 2020, I'm getting that a lot of us are just throwing. That's another thing that we're throwing away and have thrown away. The fact that your inner child is basically saying like, or you are to not be so strong for everyone else anymore. Okay, um, and like you are to be. It's okay for you to be raw. It's okay for you to be untamed when it comes to your emotions. It's okay for you to be angry. And be strong in your convictions that it's okay for you to be angry, to be sad, and to have joy. It's okay for you to be happy. It's okay for you to have those untamed, unadulterated, happy, sad, uh, emotions or whatever you're feeling. Because you weren't able to do that when you were growing up, you can do that now. So this year, you're being told like, look, your inner child saying like, you can go ahead and be angry. You can go ahead and be angry. Go ahead and do that shit because you worked so hard on yourself. I'm seeing a lot of you going on retreats. I see a lot of y'all just letting yourself go and not allowing yourself to be tamed by anybody or anything or any sort of system, or form of discrimination. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm getting from that. And last but not least, I'm getting like the Three of Pentacles. I'm telling you now, not only are a lot of you going to be paid, a lot of you are going to be using your gifts to help people. The Three of Pentacles actually says this. You're going to be using your gifts to help people and you're going to get paid doing it. A lot of you are teachers. A lot of you are teachers, spiritual teachers. Even if you're not a spiritual teacher, you're doing something to help somebody, okay? Because you are healed. Now that you're doing this on your own terms, okay? I'm getting that throughout the entire year, someone some of y'all are going to be doing some sort of speaking engagement or something with the general public to basically provide services, maybe spiritual services, a trade, somewhere around that area. So I'm just getting the three of Pentacles here. Like you're going to have the opportunity to share. I'm getting around college season. You're going to be doing like a lot of speaking engagements in colleges, or maybe in schools or something like that, where you are with young people, where you're with youth, okay, or people. I'm getting little kids, if not kindergarten, then maybe yeah, I'm definitely getting like little kids. I'm seeing like little kids sitting on the floor. So that tells me right there that some of y'all are going to be reading to children or volunteering to work with kids or playing with children because children will bring out your inner child. Okay. Babies will bring out your inner child real quick. Okay. And so a lot of you are going to be working with children. Um, I'm getting around, around if not January, then maybe September or it's like August or September when the school when school starts, the school year starts. Okay. So I just feel like a lot of people, y'all, there's a lot in store, a lot in store. For I'm just getting to pull. Come on, you ain't ready. You ain't down spirit. Okay, okay, okay. So yeah, some of y'all, like Ace of Swords, y'all ready to rage. Y'all ready to rage. Let that anger out. A lot of you in the year 2020 are going to be letting your anger out. You're going to be letting your emotions be known. You probably, some of y'all are going to, snapping on family members. People snapping on people and taking the actions necessary to be like, to let them know. Like, I just feel like in my solar plexus, a lot of y'all taking your power back. Okay, you're taking your power back. You're taking your power back, and it's going to involve you telling family members like, y'all can go on about your fucking business because you treat me this way and you expected me to be quiet for this long. You're going to be saying this to family members in 2020. You're going to be. I'm definitely getting like some family member vibes here. And the Three of Wands upside down tells me that you're I'm just getting that there's going to be a time where you feel like you are by yourself, and you're not. You're not alone in your struggle. You're not alone in your struggles at all, which is one of the reasons why you're being told to ask for help, tap in the spirit. You're also ready to be by yourself too. A lot of you are ready to be by yourself and on your own. Okay. And I'm not talking about, like, I'm talking about getting, like, maybe moving out of home, or getting out of, and going to college or living on a dorm somewhere around that area. I'm getting y'all ready to like, have your own house, have your own apartment. And so the Three of Wands is upside down, is basically saying like, look, go ahead and soar and do that, because some of y'all are grown. Now y'all ready to be out. Some of y'all having y'all debts paid, or some of you are going to college. And so you're just ready to be on your own. So just be ready for those blessings to be on your own. Okay, if that needs to be. But yeah, I'm just seeing a lot of doing for yourself and being there for yourself. Let's see here. Yeah. You're not trying to, Six of Wands, you're not trying to be the leader of nobody right now. You're literally working on yourself. Um, and the Six of Wands upside down usually is about false leadership, or you feeling like no one is listening to you, so on and so forth. But I'm not getting this from this card. What I'm getting is that you are pretty much, yeah, I'm just getting, you're pretty much for 2020, like at the point I'm getting at your wit's end with certain people. And so you're like, no, I don't. I'm here for myself now. I'm listening to myself. I'm listening to my inner child now. And your inner child, straight up, especially with the Samaritan card, basically saying it's time for you to do for yourself, because you've done for other people for so long. Um, just be aware though that you're going to end up pissing a lot of people off, because you're now doing for yourself and not other people. So let's get here. Let's go ahead and end this with words of encouragement. So, dear Higher Spirit, what words of encouragement do you have for the collective's inner child? Oh, wow. Y'all, you have the beloved card. Okay, you have the beloved card. It was upside down. And so what I got here is that continue to put yourself first. Continue to put yourself first. Continue to love yourself first. I'm feeling a lot of self-love here throughout this entire reading. So I'm like, for the year 2020, put yourself first. Okay? Put yourself first. Give to your own inner child. Connect to your own inner child before you go out and help anyone else. Love yourself. Pour love into yourself. Pour peace into yourself. Pour joy into yourself. You deserve this after 19. You have 2019. You deserve this much. Okay, this is pretty much the time for you to um, put all that work that you put into other people, all that energy you place into other people. It's time to put it into you, and like look deep within yourself. The beloved card is basically saying like it's beautiful, it's red, and there's like hands under this heart. I'm just basically getting that you are to come first. Your peace and your prosperity is to come first, and you really are going to fall in love. You really are going to fall in love with yourself and someone else. Okay. Like I'm looking forward to hearing more about people's love lives and stuff, because it's like I'm getting like that part. Like a lot of you would love to bring people into your life, but you felt like you were not strong enough or you were not healed enough. Now that that is happening, you're definitely as far as like the healing, and you bring healing into your life, you're definitely you're going to find that love that you have been looking for, whether it be in um, a monogamous relationship or a polyamorous relationship, one of the two. So that is all I have for the Inner Child Collective. That's for this week's episode. Um, if that resonated with you in any way, shape, or form, or that forecast resonated with you in any way, shape, or form, please subscribe to the podcast, share the podcast, leave a review, and share it with your friends. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and now Twitter, the Bowtie Psychic. And if you would like a more personalized reading, inner child energy reading, go to the services section on my website, thebowtiepsychic.com, to book an appointment. So thank you so very much for sharing your time and energy with me. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you like this new